1923, and within the Paignton countryside, Herbert Whitley has decided to open a zoo.
But how did we get to the Paignton Zoo we know today? Well, like all good ideas, it starts with a pint of beer. You see, Herbert's father was a man of the people, solicitor, MP and Mayor of Liverpool, but also part of the Greenall Whitley brewery empire, which is where he made the family fortune. After Herbert's father died in 1892, the Whitley family moved from Liverpool to Paignton, to here, Primley House. The house was the perfect location for nature-obsessed Herbert, with greenhouses, stables, kennels and acres of land to explore.
Over time, Herbert and his brother William were soon known for breeding high-quality livestock. And this was just the start of the new Whitley family enterprise.
Now, this rather old-looking book I have here is one of the Whitley brothers' many stud books, specifically the stud book for their Shire horses. This stud book is from 1907 and is certainly starting to show its age, but you can see here the family tree of various horses that the Whitleys bred during their time.
And it wasn't only hoofstock that Herbert was interested in. He also bred dogs like Primley Scepter, who was the first dog to ever win Best in Show at Crufts.
His passion, it's safe to say though, was birds, more specifically pigeons. He bred hundreds of varieties of fancy pigeons and even carrier pigeons to help with the war effort. In the early years of the zoo, he supposedly had the largest array of pigeon varieties ever assembled in Europe. Like many millionaires of the day, Herbert Whitley was no stranger to owning land. I mean, look at Primley House and what is now Primley Park. No, what was different about Herbert was that not only was he a millionaire, he was also a conservationist. In that vein, he bought land here in South Devon with the intention to save it from greedy developers.
This is Slapton Lea. Slapton Lea is the largest natural freshwater lake in the southwest, separated from the sea by a shingle beach. It is a site of special scientific interest and it was declared a National Nature Reserve in 1993. Wild Planet Trust still looks after the site along with our conservation partners today.
Of all his work though, Whitley's greatest legacy is Paignton Zoo. By the end of the First World War, Herbert had acquired many exotic species. A pet monkey, free-flying cockatoos, fish, reptiles, amphibians, plants. He knew what he had on his hands was special. Species that people had never seen before were right here in Paignton.
Whitley wanted people to learn about these amazing creatures. And what better way than to see them with their own two eyes?
So in July 1923, he opened the doors to Torbay Zoological Gardens for the first time. Now the exact opening date is a mystery, but it was around the 1st of July 1923, and back then it opened under the name Torbay Zoological Gardens. Entry was £1 for adults and sixpence for children. At the time, it was one of only a handful of zoos in the UK. The zoo was unique in its focus. It was about more than just displaying animals and plants. Thank you. No, Paignton Zoo was about education, about providing a way for people to experience and learn from nature. And this ethos continues to this day.
It's like acacia, and that's really spiky. It's got big, long spikes, as long as your fingers. What does critically mean? Critically means basically in that...
Despite Herbert's educational aims, the tax office saw the zoo as a place of entertainment and imposed the entertainment's tax. Now, rather than give in on his belief that zoos were places of learning, Herbert closed the gates again in 1924. But he didn't lose sight of his dream. He kept building his zoo, getting new animals and continuing to find new plant species.
And in 1927, after 3 years of closure, Herbert conceded and reopened under the name of Primley Zoological Gardens, much to the delight of local people. The zoo had developed significantly whilst closed, and was described in the press as the finest and largest private zoo in the world. The zoo went from strength to strength, and in the early 1930s, the new tropical house caused something of a stir, and not just amongst the visitors who came from far and wide to see it, but also the tax office. They took an interest in the zoo's finances, and Herbert took the case to court, but the judge demanded that he pay the entertainment tax, and as in 1924, he refused, and the zoo closed once more. Now during this time, it wasn't just Herbert facing a hard time and having to make difficult decisions. During this second zoo closure, the global impact of the Second World War was being felt across the country.
Herbert was already starting to send his animals to other zoos. His instruction was to rehome everything except the pigeons. And if it hadn't been for a call from Reginald Goddard, the owner of Chessington Zoo, that might have been it for Paignton Zoo.
Goddard wanted to relocate Chessington's animals away from London because of the Blitz, and he approached Whitley to see if they could spend some time down in Paignton. Seizing the opportunity to bring in new species, Herbert entered into a partnership with Goddard. A variety of animals came from Chessington, including Romeo the Hackney Stallion, Shetland ponies Bobby, Charlie and Toffee, Vicky the mathematical dog, and Jumbo the baby elephant. And along with them came an entire circus, complete with acrobats, clowns, jugglers, and even the world's strongest man. The Jungle Express miniature railway arrived too, and with that, the zoo's name changed to Devon Zoo and Circus.
The circus was located in the area around our current Echidna enclosure. It continued to run up until 1953, and the Jungle Express railway remained until 2022. The booming years following World War II would sadly be the final ones for Herbert Whitley, who passed away in 1955 after a short illness. The zoo was given to one of his closest friends, Philip Mitchell-Moore, who shared Herbert's passion for nature and conservation. Mitchell-Moore established the Herbert Whitley Trust, a non-profit organisation that was to keep running the zoo in line with Whitley's values.
Throughout the following decades, Paignton Zoo acquired more exotic animals, bigger species too, and has seen developments that would increase the quality of animal husbandry and welfare. But it hasn't all been plain sailing. As in Herbert's years, there have been plenty of ups and downs, but it's safe to say that we have come a long way. 100 years on from Herbert Whitley's passion project, Paignton Zoo continues his legacy, looking after endangered species, educating our guests, and inspiring the next generation of conservationists to help halt species decline. We are looking forward to the next 100 years of Paignton Zoo, and we hope you'll join us on that journey.